Hi everybody, welcome back to Tatastu. I know it has been a bit of a break, but fatherhood, life, work, all of those things keep you away from something that you enjoy. But I'm back and hopefully trying to be more consistent about the movies I'm going to be watching and the movies that I'm going to be reviewing. So for 2025, the first movie that I'm going to be reviewing is the Karthik Subbaraj directorial Retro, starring Suriya, Pooja Hegde, and a whole host of Karthik Subbaraj regulars and some not so regulars. What can I say about this movie? I think, as a point for most cinephiles, this is probably porn. It is probably the most cinematic cinema experience that I've been to this year. Um, I I watched Good, Bad, and Ugly. I watched a few others this year, which I didn't think were needed a lot of reviewing. But for this one, I genuinely wanted to just put down my thoughts. Why? Because Karthik Subbaraj is one of those few directors who are here to stay, not because the fact that they draw enough commercial value. They possibly do. Some of his movies do really well commercially, some don't. Uh, it's not because he has the star cast of the millennium or anything of that sort. Yes, he's had Rajani in his movie. Yes, he's had Vijay Sethupathi in his movies. But the question that we need to ask is he a director with a unique vision? And that is 100%. He's almost altruistic in the way that he designs, conceptualizes, and creates movies. Karthik Subbaraj is here to stay because Karthik Subbaraj is a unique voice that is needed in Tamil cinema. Now, what are we looking at in Retro? We're looking at a story of a chosen one narrative. It's a fairly straightforward chosen one narrative, except the characterization of each and every part in this movie is incredibly nuanced, although to some extent, in some portions, are a little emotionally distant, primarily because there's just so much happening within the movie. It's almost like a wild ride in the first half of the movie, and then sort of settles down in the second half, which is sort of similar to what he did with Jigandanda Double X as well. But what is unique about Retro, and I don't think it's a movie that is perfect. It has its own flaws, including some stretches which possibly are overstretched in terms of usage of time, some characters which don't really register so well. But it's not that these characters are badly written, it's just that they just don't register as much. At least for me, it didn't. But I do think they add value to the movie, and that's the uniqueness of Karthik Subbaraj. Even if there are characters that are not so well embellished in the movie, they still register a presence, and that's a very important piece. The chosen one narrative is always been about trying to find that one person who's going to be the savior for a land, savior for something, savior for some civilization. It could be Matrix, it could be, I don't know, n number of movies that we currently have, right? And most mass masala movies always sort of look at this chosen one narrative, not from a chosen one narrative point of view, but more like the hero who is the savior, right? But the uniqueness of Karthik Subbaraj is that he doesn't allow the chosen one narrative to subsume the message that he wants to give. He doesn't want the chosen one to be the one delivering the message. He doesn't want the chosen one to be the one engulfing the entire thesis of the movie. And the thesis of the movie is the most wonderful piece, which is the undercurrent throughout this movie. The undercurrent being despots, dictators are cowards. They're the worst form of cowards. Laughter, happiness, joy, and the search for your purpose is the most viable way by which you can attack these despots. Because the first thing despots do or dictators do is try and stifle your ability to laugh, try and stifle your ability to search for peace, search for meaning. Because A despot really wants to use you as a tool to fulfill their needs, and therefore your means and ends end with the despot. That's the message that Karthik Subbaraj wants to deliver in this movie. It's a wonderful message, and I don't think it ever gets messagey. It's so beautifully done by the introduction of some of these characters. Oh Lord, the characters. And now I'm going to come to each of them. Starting with Suriya. It's so quirky to see an actor who has underperformed after Suriya Potre in the box office. Yes, he's had Jai Bhim. Yes, he's had Suriya Potre. But beyond that, I think to a point where Surya has never really had fun doing a movie. He's always had the weight of the show, weight of the movie, weight of that message on his body. The fact that Karthik Subbaraj sort of relieves that message from him and says, "You go play your game, you act as well as you can, and we'll have the message delivered by someone else or by the community as a whole," relieves so much pressure of Surya that he's able to act so well that he's at one point the most stern, unforgivable person, but at the same time also is empathetic, has a purpose that he tries to find, and that translation of a person who has no idea what he's doing, has a completely fulfilled life to a life that is dropped off to then picking himself up is a great transition, and Surya pulls it off excellently. But there's one more character that plays a bigger role here, and I don't think everyone wants to give this character enough credit, but it is Jairam's character. Jairam plays the character of a laughter doctor. It is a hilarious, out of the world premise, primarily because having a laughter doctor coming in to teach someone to smile is an incredible feat of its own. So what does Jairam do eventually? Jairam almost teaches Surya that laughter is not something that you can evoke easily. So the thought of him trying to laugh gets very, very positive only through Jairam's character. And therefore, Jairam plays a very important role in this movie, unlike other characters as well. And this brings me then to Pooja Hegde, who's probably done the most acting she's done in any of her movies. So, kudos to the fact that she has such an important presence, even though she's possibly not pulling off a lot of acting chops in this movie. She does very well in terms of bringing the empathy and the need and the sort of soul behind that character. So it's a really good performance in this case. Two people that do stand out for me in this movie are the primary villain, which is the same person who played Shettani in Jigardanda Double X. Pardon me, I don't remember his name, but he is incredible in this movie as the cult hero. The cult leader. Amazing performance, so act out, so brilliant, so funny, and so poignant as a sort of embodiment of how hilariously dumb despots are, and it's excellent. And then it brings me to the most wonderful Jojo George. Jojo George is a being that gives and gives and gives as an acting lesson after an acting lesson. Jojo George makes the most unbelievable circumstances, like even having a golden hand pressed onto him, so convincing that he can outshine any of the actors within that scene, but he chooses not to. He plays the game the way it is supposed to be played. That is the difference between a great actor and possibly the others. Uh, the technical department, Santosh Narayanan, I don't know what it is between Karthik and Santosh. These two guys are just made for each other. The music is amazing and also so poignant. Some of the background score for each part is so well done. The staging for some of it is so whacked out that the music also is equally whacked out. So it's really fun to watch. The cinematography. Karthik takes such a bold step and uses Shreyas Krishna, I think, to his limit by doing the first 15 minutes in a single shot. Bloody hell, that is magic and cinema porn. It is the best piece of cinema that I've seen till now, and I'm sure there'll be better movies or much more anticipated movies, but as of date, excellent. It is the best that I can think of. But what are we going to take out of retro? We're going to take out of retro a movie experience that, even though is flawed in terms of not being able to register the most powerful of messages, in at least the way it is delivered, but I think it delivers a very important message that authoritarianism can only thrive when people forget to laugh, forget to have a sense of humor. The more you're able to fight for people's sense of humor, for the ability to smile, laugh, search for purpose, the chosen one isn't the one you need. All of us are chosen one. We all just need to laugh and be happy and choose to prioritize what we want rather than choose to prioritize what someone else wants for us. That's the distinction that Karthik wants to bring in this movie. Every movie has a thesis. I believe this is his thesis in this movie, and I think it's a very well done movie. Uh, I obviously don't want to rate and stuff, rate or provide any sort of metric to this movie, but if I was to tell you what you are going to look forward to, it is a whacked out, wonderful movie that you should watch in the theaters. Please catch it before it leaves. Thank you very much. Bye bye.